Hearings in Congress on Operation Choke Point. If the White House didn't like you, banks and financial institutions were pressured to close up your accounts. Gun stores, casinos, payday lenders, even a hooker, H-O-O-K-A, you know, the guys who the smoking paraphernalia? A hooker dealer found himself unable to do his banking. Roll that tape.
I don't think it's legal. I don't think it's part of the American way. I don't understand why this is happening. If you want to target illegal companies, go and target those specific illegal companies and stop those companies. Don't go and just blanketly or target a specific industry.
Well, you know, my comments about the hooker dealer...
Why did you have to spell that word? I don't understand.
Yes, you do. So, look, is this legit? Constitutionally, for the government to pressure companies to, hey, put those guys out of business?
You know, the government has been doing this for years. Look at what the government has done to the tobacco industry with respect to requiring the tobacco industry to advertise to its customers that the product will harm them.
But they did that on health
forced speech.
I can make the case that that's
purely
legit.
Tobacco is caught up in this, but this is purely political. This is purely the government making a moral judgment. The executive branch of the government, not the legislative. Difference is profound.
Yes.
That because we morally object to what you do, guns, ammunition, hookah, bars, and certain tobacco processors, we're going to pressure your banks, which we regulate, to make your ability to borrow money so expensive that you'll go out of business. If the government wants to do that, it would be necessary for the Congress to rewrite the laws. And most of those laws would be unconstitutional because these businesses in and of themselves are perfectly lawful, consistent with the Constitution. They just run against the political strain of this administration. This is the same thing that they did with the IRS, where they used lawful authority to twist and push and try and get people out of business.
Look, you're the constitutional expert. I'm the guy who looks at the money, the economy, and the legitimacy of government power. In this instance, I just think it's bullying from the government to achieve aims which it cannot achieve through the legislative process.
Okay, well, right, you're exactly right. So there's two constitutional issues here. One is the violation of the separation of powers, the executive branch making its own rules that only Congress can make. The other is a violation of equal protection. It doesn't treat all businesses equally. It takes those it morally dislikes and enforces the law with such rigor and vigor and pressure as to try and put them out of business. Who the heck is the government to do that?
Has there ever been a time in America's history where there was true, constitutionally strict, good government?
In the administration of President Thomas Jefferson.
That's it?
A long time ago.
But that doesn't say much for your argument.
No, it doesn't. Here's my argument. My argument goes along with a very famous Englishman by the name of Lord Acton, that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the more power you give the government, the more it will grasp and the more it will exercise.
See, my problem is that if this kind of unconstitutional action has been going on for so long, and it's very prevalent today, but nothing is done about it, the point almost becomes irrelevant.
That's a very good argument. It's known as amending the Constitution by consent. When one branch of government, here the executive branch, gets away with all kinds of lawless action, and the Congress winks or does nothing, and the courts wink or do nothing, it is basically amending the power of the presidency by the consent of the other two branches. And who suffers? We suffer by our loss of liberty.
The answer is politics, not the courts and the law.
Well, the answer is to repose the Constitution into the hands of people who believe that it means what it says.
Yes.
Which is an argument, and I don't agree with him on everything, that Senator Ted Cruz made yesterday. He really believes, along with Senator Rand Paul, that the Constitution means what it says, and he's going to make that case, whether he wins the Republican nomination or not. He's going to make that case throughout the campaign.
So that voice is being heard.
Yes.
It may not win, it may not be nominated, but the voice is heard.
Yes. And it's being heard with a Texas accent. Occasionally that voice is even heard with a London School of Economics accent.
Really?
Really? How do you spell hookah?
You announced your presence early, did you not?
You love when I do that.
I do.
You pretend to hate it.
I do. Keeps the show moving. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.